chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. So we heard Michael Horowitz the other day in a letter that you folks made public saying that, well, I don't know how much I could investigate this Hunter Biden business at the DOJ and allegations of a cover up there, because really it falls to the Office of Professional Responsibility at the DOJ. What do you make of that? And what do you want to see Horowitz do?
You know, John, we're deeply concerned about how this administration has been snowballing, whether it's the IG, whether it's Congress, whether it was the IRS whistleblowers that came forward throughout their 5 years of the investigations. It's a pattern that we're seeing over and over. That's why just this week, myself, Jim, and Jamie sent a letter asking exactly how their investigation has been stalled. We need to know exactly what they find out in regards to how the Department of Justice blocked the prosecution of the president's son, and also the retaliation that the whistleblowers have had on them since they came forward.
You know, a lot of what we've heard from the whistleblowers and that Form 1023 as well were allegations that there was a potential pay for play at work here with Joe Biden. And it surrounded a guy named Viktor Shokin, who was the former national prosecutor in Ukraine. Our Brian Kilmeade conducted an interview with Shokin, which is going to air tomorrow night. Here's a part of what Shokin said regarding potential corruption and bribes surrounding the former vice president. Listen here.
I do not want to deal in unproven facts, but my firm personal conviction is that, yes, this was the case. They were being bribed. The fact that Joe Biden gave away $1 billion in U.S. money in exchange for my dismissal, my firing, isn't that alone a case of corruption?
And just to remind folks at home, Shokin was the national prosecutor who Biden got fired, saying that they would withhold $1 billion in U.S. aid if he wasn't taken out. The White House says this about this. The White House says this about Shokin. Fox is giving a platform for these lies to a former Ukrainian prosecutor general whose office his own deputy called a hotbed of corruption, drawing demands for reform not only from then Vice President Biden, but also from U.S. diplomats, international partners, and Republican senators like Ron Johnson. Do you think Shokin is credible?
John, let's just look at this. We have on public record the President of the United States speaking live, saying that he will withhold $1 billion unless they get rid of that prosecutor. And that prosecutor was investigating the corruption in Burisma, which the president's son was paid more than $2 million to serve on the board. It doesn't smell right. So you tell me, do you trust the Bidens and the fact that the president and the vice president at that time was withholding $1 billion to Ukraine unless they fired the prosecutor that was investigating the corruption of Burisma, which his son was on the board, being paid millions of dollars?
Yeah, interesting article in the New York Post quoting former Obama administration officials like Victoria Nuland, saying that they appeared to be at least quite happy with Shokin. I want to ask you about something else that Congressman Comer, chair of the Oversight Committee, is pushing for here. And this is this alleged email alias that then Vice President Joe Biden had under the name Robert L. Peters. Here's a staffer, John Flynn, writing to Robert L. Peters and Hunter Biden, saying, "Boss." This was May 26, 2016. "Boss, 8:45 a.m. prep for 9 a.m. phone call with President Poroshenko of Ukraine. Then we're off to Rhode Island for infrastructure event, and then Wilmington for UDEL, University of Delaware commencement. Nate will have your draft remarks delivered later tonight or with your press clips in the morning." What are you sensing here with this email alias, and there may be others?
Well, based on the IRS whistleblowers and also Devin Archer's testimony before Congress, this is a pattern that the Biden family has done repeatedly. Joe Biden has been referred to as the big guy. He's been referred to as the brand, according to Devin Archer, when it came to trying to sell the brand. And then we saw this family set up more than 20 shell LLCs to transfer money. They owned no property all that they did was use as areas to transfer money. And usually when entities do that, it's all for the wrong, illegal reasons.
All right. Well.